Hopkinton Town Council meeting on March 18, 2019 to order with a moment of silent meditation and salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. First up, before we get into the meat of the agenda, is Bill McGarry, introduction of the part-time ACO Chelsea Spakowski.
Yes, thank you very much. It's a privilege and a pleasure for me to introduce our new part-time animal control officer. Her name is Chelsea Spakowski. She's a town resident. She lives in Rockville. There she is right there. And she's a graduate of Charahoe High School. And she has extensive experience in animal control on a volunteer basis. We interviewed for this position and she came out first. We offered her the position, she accepted it, and thankfully she's still there. So.
It's nice when it works out that way.
Yeah, and we're very pleased to reopen the shelter. It's been closed for almost a year and a half, and we opened it up a week ago today. And it's open each day of the week. We have full-time coverage, part-time coverage, and we know it's located right by DPW complex on Woodville Road. So we're very pleased to have Chelsea on board, and the full-time ACO Samantha Bowen's with us tonight too. So the center of the room is filled with animal control.
We're here.
Yeah, Chelsea, Barbara has a quick question. Can you come to the podium?
Thank you. I just have a quick question. Trinity Lutheran Church, the preschool, always gathers up food for the animal control in Hopkinton, and obviously the last year and a half they haven't been able to. Are they able to do that now?
I'm sorry, what preschool?
The Trinity Lutheran Preschool, the church preschool in Hopkinton. So is it open for? I'm sorry.
Oh no, I'm sure she can.
Well, that's why I'm asking.
We are starting to put a list together on different places that we will visit to ask for donations. If they can set out a box, Sam and I have a list, and we're just brainstorming ideas of where we can go to.
It was a church owner, and they were very happy to get boxes of things. That was one of the things the children did every year.
Yeah.
And they obviously didn't do it last year, so I'm hoping they can get back to doing that.
Yeah, we'll definitely write it down. I haven't. We
Or
haven't.
call them up and say, here we are, we'd love it if you do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah,
Yes. Thank you.
Welcome to Hopkinton.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Next up is consent agenda, approved town council meeting minutes of March 4th, 2019, executive session minutes of March 4th, 2019, budget workshop notes of March 7th, 2019, except the following monthly financial activity report, town clerk. The solicitor has asked that March 4th be pulled.
And I'd like to pull March 7th.
I'll move that we approve the consent agenda with those two items removed.
Motion made second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Kevin, yes. March 4th?
Yes, please. On page 5, the third full paragraph, which begins with my name, the second sentence, the way it currently reads is, they inadvertently voted 2 times to amend the comprehensive plan, but did not vote to rezone. I'd be a lot more comfortable if it, 4 words were added. I think it's more accurate if it read, voted 2 times to amend the comprehensive plans, apostrophe S, future land use map. So I just want to add apostrophe S at the end of plans, specify that it was the future land use map. And then I'd be totally comfortable with that.
Okay with that?
Totally.
Does anybody else have anything for March 4th? No, okay. Barbara, 7?
Number 7, page 2,
On the 5th?
7.
on the 7th.
7, page 2.
And I have a question, and actually going very may be able to answer it, because the very bottom, police department CIP, the lease funding schedule, which includes the final lease payment of $28,134. We bought these, they aren't leased, so is it called a lease payment? Not a
The leases.
purchase?
No, they're leased.
The leases. That's the final year of the third year of the set of two cars, right?
Of the lease. So we don't own the car after this? It goes back?
No.
No, it's bought, right?
No, we leased them, we didn't purchase them outright.
Okay, so we've leased them for 3 years, and now at the end of 3 years,
We own them.
that's what I thought. It was a lease to own. It wasn't a lease to
Lease
go
to-
back.
It wasn't a lease to lease.
Oh, okay, it wasn't a lease to lease,
Yeah.
so it was a final lease to own payment? Could we say that?
Sure.
To me, it
Okay.
many people lease it and give it back. And it happens in two
I'll
places.
dig the one.
The second line and the third line. I'd just like to add lease to own, so people understand we did not lease the cars, ultimately bought them. Thank you.
All right. Motion to accept these corrections, please.
Second.
Okay, okay, all those in favor?
I'm going to abstain because I was absent for the
Oh,
7th.
okay. All right. One abstention, okay. All right, first public forum. Anyone out there wishing to be heard? Okay, next under my report, I have just a couple small items. Senator Morgan had invited me to go to the Senate chambers for a commendation for Kyle Driscoll. I guess I remember this vaguely. He saved somebody that went into the river
With his car.
with his car.
Right.
And it was in, I think it was New Year's Day, like late at night. Yeah, so anyway, it was a very nice ceremony. It was kind of quick to kind of turn it around, see if you could come to one of our meetings. I may get him, I'll try. But it was really pretty heroic, and I'm glad to have him be a resident, I'll tell you that.
He's in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
We're very proud of him.
You're very lucky to have him in your
Really, really
neighborhood.
something else. You don't see that every day. When they pulled him out of the car, and they had never found the car.
They did
Oh,
find
no
the
kidding.
car.
I thought they did
Oh,
eventually.
they did?
Oh, they
Yeah,
did,
they did.
okay.
Well, the family said they didn't.
Took a while.
You just said it, they didn't.
Yeah.
That's great. That's obviously new news.
Yeah, and then I went marching the St. Patrick's Day Parade in Newport Saturday. It was quite a march, and very nice day.
Meredith was, my daughter was over there with her
Oh, okay.
boyfriend, he was in it. He's
No,
a
they
fireman, so, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, it was nice,
quite a
nice to be
show.
young.
Yes,
Nice to be young.
yes.
So I'll leave it at that.
And stay up all night,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I got the heck out of there as quickly as I could. Next up, Bill McGarry, Town Manager Report.
Thank you. On March 4th, I convened a meeting with Eric Laframboise and Jimmy Majelski from the Framboise Water Company, that's the town's water consultants. Also present at this meeting were Town Solicitor Kevin McAllister and Finance Director Brian Rosso. There was an extensive discussion regarding the town's compliance with Rhode Island Department of Health's numerous and extensive regulations regarding the town's public water system. And then on March 7th, in the same light, I met with Department of Health Senior Engineer Anthony Silver and Jimmy Majelski again at Town Hall to discuss the town's application to be a licensed public water system. We gave them our application and accompanying fee, and then we traveled to the Hope Valley School, which is a water test site, and the water pit located at the Richmond-Hopkinton line. DOH conducted conformance inspections of both sites, which was required to obtain a state license. And the town received a letter today from the Rhode Island Department of Health, just as recently as this afternoon, where they approved our application to be a licensed consecutive community public water system as preliminarily, it's easy for me to say, approved by the Department of Health. So we're in pretty good shape. This has been a long-running saga with the Department of Health, a few administrative appeals, and we were finally able to get at least a preliminary approval as a licensed consecutive community public water system, which was exactly what the town was looking for.
I have a question.
Yes.
And so, Bill, that's just for the Hope Valley portion, that's not for the whole town of Hopkinton, or is that something that can happen in the future?
That's a good question. That is for basically the whole Valley water line system.
But it could be expanded in the future if indeed the town wished to do that in 20 years.
The other two water systems that we have is one is the town hall well, and the other one is the cleanup house well. And they have already been previously approved and renewed on an annual basis by the Department of Health. So they're separate, and there's generally no problems there.
Okay, any other questions for Bill, folks? Okay.
Just thank you for doing such a good job with the one line, keeping up on that.
But it is important.
It is.
And it's established in Sylvia. It's
Yes.
Sylvia's water
See if
line,
you
as
want.
far as I'm concerned.
Okay, next up, new business. Number 1, discuss, consider, and vote whether to authorize the town manager to execute a memorandum of agreement between the IDPO Local 498 and the town of Hopkinton to assign a police officer to a federal task force to participate in criminal investigations.
So moved, by the way.
Okay, I was worried about that. Okay.
Second.
Motion was made and seconded. Any
Well,
further?
just as a, I'm not sure it's been mentioned before, but just to note that this position is going to fill a vacancy currently that's not going to add, the position itself not going to add more money to the budget. Because over time in the future, it's would eventually get reimbursed by the Fed. So it's a good opportunity for the town, and we're taking it.
And it not only doesn't add more money, it doesn't add personnel.
Yeah.
It is all part and parcel of what we already pay for, what we already have.
Okay, motion was made and seconded. Any further comments? Okay, having heard none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Chief. Next up, boards and commissions. Number 1, accept resignation of Phil Scalise from the zoning board of review.
So moved.
So moved with regret.
I'd like to read the letter that
Yes,
he wrote.
yes.
He addressed it to our town clerk. Lisa, it is with mixed emotion that I submit this letter of resignation. My time on the zoning board was exciting and almost always a learning opportunity with regards to the town history, or in human interaction. I do miss and will miss it, but as Laura and I speed into retirement planning mode, there is much to do and less time to do it, and hence this difficult decision. We have been truly blessed with the complexion of the board over the last 20 years, and I have our recollection of. It's amazing how lucky we've been to have such open-minded, resident-conscious members who do the hard work to generate equitable decisions for all. None of it was or is easy. My experience on the board has been one of the high points of my life, and for that I thank the town and my co-members on the board for the incredible opportunity. With that, please accept this letter effective immediately, so that he wanted to make that decision right away, so that you can move on to an alternate who may serve and experience the town and serve as I have had the honor of, and that's from Phil Scalise.
Yeah, I would like to say that Phil Scalise is one of my closest and dearest friends, and helps me with my car, and he's just a great all-around guy. And I got him involved in politics many years ago. I recruited him for the town council. He's a former councilman in this town, which you would know by that letter, but he's a former councilman in this town, and he graduated from Cheraho, class of 75, and he's been very loyal. You know, you see people come and go, but Phil Scalise has been a constant in this town, and his service should be applauded.
Lisa, I think we have a motion made and seconded, right?
Yeah.
Okay, any further comments, folks?
We're gonna miss him.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, last public comment.
I can't let Carolyn down. I just can't do this. Joe Moreau, Old Depot Road. Carol DeRozier had sent me something today, dated March 14th. It was on the House Committee hearings, and there's a bill number 5789. A lot of interesting points. I spent about 80 minutes today, and at that point I said enough is enough, because it's 2.5 hours long. But one of the things Representative Kennedy was speaking, as well as Chris Hearns, and I know we're moving forward on the Stubbtown Road dump, and we're looking into doing something like that. there's also going to, if this bill passes, there's a stipulation in there where there will be incentives to towns to turn brownfields over, so that if we do something with that dump, there is a possibility also that there's incentives from the state to utilize brownfields. And I thought that was pretty interesting, but if you have a couple hours and you want to get bored somewhere in the, during that whole time, there's interesting stuff in there. And he really was looking towards Hopkinton and trying to help Hopkinton with all the projects that have been going on. And he's looking for the state to look at other areas of Rhode Island instead of just the southern part of Rhode Island for some of these projects. But there are some good facts in there. So. Thank you, Carolyn.
All right, anyone else? Public forum?
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Well, as soon as I finish this, if anyone else wants to speak, if no one else wants to speak, then you may make a motion to adjourn.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn in honor of those of Irish and Italian extraction for contributing to American life.
Second?
Second.
Motion made and second, all those in favor? Aye. Meeting's adjourned.